guys, I'm back. I'm feeling a little bit better, still kind of sad, and today, since it's been a little while since I've gone over my notes and stuff, I still really wanted to push this out for you. It is Spooky Tuesday, it is spooky season, so I'm gonna throw this out here. I'm gonna be reading from my notes, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully it sounds better because I'm not stammering over my own words and stuff. And before we get right into it, I want to give a huge shout out to CD. Thank you for pointing me in the right direction to look further into some things that are a part of this whole origin story, so that I'm not portraying a specific religion in a dim or bad lighting and putting out misinformation. So yeah, thanks. But with that, let's get going. The origin of zombies. Yeah, those guys. Ugh, I'm not a fan. The decaying flesh-eating undead have been booming in recent years, but where did they come from? Well, unlike many other monsters which are a product of superstition, religion, and fear, zombies have a basis in fact, and several verified cases of zombies have been found in Haitian voodoo culture. Yeah, we're gonna get in that in a little while. Ancient Greece may have been the first to be terrorized by the fear of the undead. Archaeologists have found graves with skeletons within, pinned down by rocks and other heavy objects, which has been assumed to prevent the dead from returning. So what that means is they used to have rocks either on top of their coffins or inside on top of the bodies, keeping the bodies pinned down to the bottom so that they wouldn't be rising up from the grave. They would be too heavy, they can't move them, in, that idealistic aspect. So, in Haiti, during the 17th century, West African slaves were brought over to work on the sugar plantations, many believed to have a life after life, of a zombie represented by the horrific plight of the slavery. So what does that mean? That means that they kind of just zoned out when they were working. They became the zombie to their masters. At least that's what I gathered about that. I can't speak for a whole group of people when it comes to that, but in my interpretation, they just became less of what they used to be before they were brought over and forced to work on these plantations. Okay, so now getting into it, what do zombies have to do with voodoo? Well, thanks to CD, who pointed me in the right direction. He told me to look into the story of Clairvasius. Oh God, I can't pronounce his name. I am sorry. Clairvius, Narcisse. I can pronounce his last name. I'm gonna continue just saying his last name from now on because I can pronounce Narcisse. I'm sorry. So Narcisse was a Haitian man who was turned into a zombie via voodoo. From what I gathered about this Narcisse character, he wasn't a very pleasant man to his family or his religion. And apparently he wanted to sell his family's land, which goes against his family and also goes against the religion, because it had to be like a unanimous agreement, and his family obviously didn't agree, the religion obviously didn't agree because it didn't agree with his family, sort of thing. So yeah. And getting on to how he was turned into a zombie, it is believed that he was given a psychoactive substance that brings them to a state of near death for several days while remaining conscious. Zombie powders said to turn humans into zombies in Haitian voodoo. Narcisse claimed he could see everything happen, but from his disembodied soul. So what happened is, he believed he was see himself getting buried. He went into a hospital and he was not doing well, and then they pronounced him dead, and he saw himself being buried from almost like a third person view. And then it is said that they would be, dug up a couple of days later. And then brought to these quote-unquote zombie plantations, where other people who went under this zombification ritual would work. So yeah. So Narcisse died. He was buried and raised and then went and worked on the farm with the other zombies. Then he didn't return home until 18 years later. So it took 18 years to snap out of this trance-like state that these people in this religion are able to put these people through. So yeah, and it's really interesting because this powder, if you look deeper into this powder, the only thing that I could really grasp that was like a huge thing on why this powder could be so powerful into like making these people almost paralyzed and near death experience is something to do with pufferfish and their toxin. It can be found in there. Yeah. So that is one of the ingredients. It's the only thing that I have seen that has been released to people outside of the religion. And so with that being said, we should respect everything that they don't want to tell us because that is a closed practice. So now let's get into, the Christianity, Catholicism, all that fun stuff, because they also have really interesting portrayals of what could be considered a zombie. So there are also zombies in the Bible. Although zombies are not directly referred to in the Bible, there are references of bodies being resurrected, resurrected and reanimated, which could inspire zombie myths, such as the Book of Ezekiel or the Book of Isaiah. Both the New and Old Testaments reference resurrection of both saints and sinners. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Even, the story of Jesus coming back after 3 days could be portrayed as a quote-unquote zombie experience because he was resurrected. It's believed that he passed and then was resurrected. So I can see how that, would be portrayed as a zombie scenario. Yeah. But here's a question to leave you off with. Are zombies really just resurrected people? Or are they just a soulless shell? From the sounds of it, and the fact that there are confirmed cases in, the Haitian voodoo practice, soulless shells. Narcisse said that he believed that his body was working on the plantation and he could see it from a third-person view, and that's been a quote-unquote confirmed case. There are other cases very similar to Narcisse down there that you guys can look into. Feel free to look into it. It's really interesting. But yeah, zombies aren't just in Call of Duty. They're just about everywhere. That's all I have for you guys. Bye!